Hello, and welcome to Lifetime Uncorked, the show where we break down your favorite made-for-TV movies one bottle at a time. I am your host, Patrick Serrano, and today we are talking about Babysitter's Revenge, also known as Glass Houses. The movie stars Bree Turner, Steve Byers, and Aviva Mongillo. On the show, we either pour it up or put a cork in it. What are we going to do to this movie? Put a cork in it. If you want to avoid spoilers and you haven't seen the movie yet, go ahead and hit pause and come on back. I'm going to break down the movie in a quick little recap, starting now.
Carrie is a babysitter, and a bad one at that. She rummages through people's things while they aren't home, hoping to dig up dirt or sex toys on her neighbors. Carrie's mother, Anne, has political aspirations. I think she is running for what they call counselor, which is Canadian for president of the Homeowners Association or something. Carrie has a BFF named Blair, which she has over while babysitting, which is against the house rules. Apparently, cocaine isn't. Another woman in the neighborhood is also running for counselor. Her name is Madeline. Madeline and her husband John need a babysitter and decide to give Carrie a chance. Madeline receives good references from Carrie's clients who have all been bullied or blackmailed into writing them. Carrie wastes no time enacting her revenge. While she's in the house, Carrie neglects the baby and finds incriminating photos of her mother that Madeline must have released to the press as a smear campaign. Since Carrie is a woman in a Lifetime movie, she looks up stuff on the internet. When Madeline and John replace Carrie with a more experienced babysitter, Carrie kidnaps their child and hides him to make it look like the new babysitter is bad. When Carrie finds the baby, air quotes, she is rewarded with her job back and viewed as a savior of the town. Her revenge plot continues. While Blair watches the baby, Carrie follows Madeline to a motel and sees her trying on sexy lingerie for an older man. Carrie attempts to blackmail Madeline, but Madeline tells Carrie that her husband's already cheating on her and wouldn't care. When Carrie does tell John, he actually doesn't care and buys Madeline's story. That is, until we find out that the older man in the motel is John's father. Gross. The two women really come for each other in this movie. Madeline installs nanny cams and deletes photos from Carrie's phone. Carrie catches Madeline in her house and calls the cops on her. Then, Carrie blasts trap music and spray paints slut on Madeline's car. Madeline takes things a step too far by setting up a pool electrocution plan and accidentally kills Blair by mistake. What did Blair do? Blair watched your child, Madeline. Get it together. Carrie realizes that things might have gone too far and she tells John about the affair with his father. John questions if the baby is even his, or maybe it's his brother. John screams,
"He is my stepfather!"
And honestly, I'm right there with him. No thank you to this movie. Madeline finds out that Carrie spilled the beans and slaps her in the middle of the street, screaming in front of all the neighbors. Everyone watches her lose her perfect facade, and Madeline moves out of town, leaving Carrie and Anne to continue to be questionable neighbors and, I guess, become counselor. And that is Babysitter's Revenge.
The main issue with this movie is I don't know who to root for. Am I supposed to sympathize with Madeline because she's the worst? Am I supposed to sympathize with Carrie because she's also terrible? The only redeemable character in this whole movie is Blair, and she gets electrocuted by the pool. She was the one actually watching the baby. So unfair. The whole movie was like a bad episode of Tom and Jerry with Madeline and Carrie coming for each other back and forth. I'm like, okay, where is like the falling anvil? This is ridiculous. Like, let's end this and put us all out of our misery. Some good things about the movie. I love that it was written and directed by two females. So go them, but maybe try again. And now it is time for the Minority Report, the segment where we talk about representation in TV movies and why it matters. Babysitter's Nightmare was a nightmare for POCs. There was no principal roles that featured a POC actor. Nothing. What the hell? Do better. Let's be better about this. Oh my god, there is a bee in here. I'm dead. There's a bee in here, and I'm gonna die. Okay, that wraps it up for this week's episode. I'm very afraid now of the bee in my house, and I have to stop recording. If you want more of the show, you can listen to our podcast, Lifetime Uncorked, available wherever you get your podcasts. Or, I'm terrified, or you can check out our website, lifetimeuncorked.com. We watch these movies, so you don't have to, but if you do, we'd love to hear from you. You can follow me at Patrick Miguel, or the show at Lifetime Uncorked. Don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe. Okay, goodbye.